Now let's go on to solve the quadratic equation. And before I go on to the question in hand, which is your x square minus 4x plus 2 is equal to 0, let me do it from a very basic level. In fact, if we were following what was happening to the graph, how it was shifting up and down, left and right, we could have got the solution there itself in the way what we are going to derive. But now let me do it purely mathematically without the graphs, and then later we can relate it to what was happening in the graph. Now let me start with a very simple equation, say a quadratic equation, say x square minus 4 is equal to 0. This is the way you write a quadratic equation. 0 on the other side of the equal to, and all the other the rest of the polynomial on the same on one side of equal to. Now basically what is being asked is x square is equal to 4. What value of x will satisfy? That is called the root of this quadratic equation. That's your quadratic equation. If I'm going to get the value of x which satisfies the quadratic equation, it is called the root of the quadratic equation. Now what do you think is the answer? The answer would be x root of 4, but root of 4 means positive square root of. This under root sign means positive square root of, and we know that even if I get the negative square root of that, on squaring I'll get plus 4 again. Meaning to say my answer of x will not be only a plus 2, my answer of x will be a minus 2 also. Why would my answer be minus 2 also? Because I'll just put it back and check. Plus 2 square is 4, yeah, that's right. Minus 2 square is also 4, that's also right. So x is equal to 2 is one root, and x is equal to minus 2 is the other root. We have both the solutions. So it was quite simple, quite easy to do. When I have x square is equal to 4, we were able to do very easily. Now let me ask you, if it was not 4, it was 7, what would be the answer? That's your number 1. That's your number 2. A cheap question again. X square is equal to 7. Now what do you think is the answer? Answer is again a plus minus root 7. This time I don't have a rational number for root 7. Root 7 is irrational, so I'll leave it like that. So after doing a root 4, I don't have a rational number like a 2 in this case. With the root 4, the under root of 4 was 2. With the root 7, we don't have a rational number. It is irrational. We leave it like that, and that's our solution. So the answer is x is, it's written over here, that this means x is either plus 7 under root or it is minus 7 under root. So far so good. Are we solving quadratic equation? Yes, we are solving quadratic equations. So the bigger ones are as simple. Okay, they are as simple. But let me not kid you. Let me just make it one small bit complicated, and I'll ask you, what is the solution of x minus 1 the whole square is equal to, say, 4 again. What do you think is the solution of x minus 1 whole square is equal to 4? What is the difference between this question and this or that question? Not much, not much. This one is almost having the same look and feel of this question. Some quantity, your x minus 1, you can call it as, say, t square is equal to 4. So what is that t? What is that t? So x minus 1, in my head it is like t square is equal to 4. So what is that t? It is plus minus root of 4. Now root of 4 is 2, so you can write it as 2. So what we get is x minus 1 is equal to plus or minus 2. Now this will lead me to two answers. What two answers? I'll just write it over here. One is x minus 1 is equal to plus 2. If x minus 1 was plus 2, will the square be 4? Yes, it will be. It satisfies the quadratic equation. So this is a solution. And what's the other solution? The other solution is x minus 1 is equal to minus 2. Again, instead of x minus 1, if I put a minus 2 over here, minus 2 square, is it 4? Yes, minus 2 square is also 4, because negative square is also positive. Minus 1 square becomes 1, and the 2 square is 4. So x minus 1 is equal to 2 is one of the solution. X minus 1 is equal to minus 2 is the other solution. So if we want to figure out the x value from here, that's quite easy. What will that be? That will give me x is equal to, I'll take the 1 on the other side, it becomes 3. That is one of my solution. And so the same process I do for this, it's a simple linear equation in one variable. So what we get is x is equal to minus 2 plus 1, which is a minus 1. That's my other solution. So I'll go back to the original question and put it in and check whether my answer is right or not. 3 minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 square is 4. Yes, this x is equal to 3 satisfies. This one looks a bit dicey. Let me just check. Minus 1. Minus 1. Instead of x, a minus 1. Minus 1 minus 1. Minus 1 minus 1 is minus 2. Minus 2 square is a 4. This one also satisfies. So we have two answers, a plus 3 and a minus 1. Now by solving this, we have basically in essence done what is required to get the general solution of quadratic equation. So this is the same process what we want to do. We want a whole square, something whole square is equal to a number, and then when we'll do a square root on both sides, get the linear equations and get the answer. As simple as that. Let me again look at this very quadratic equation. Say over here, x minus 1 whole square is equal to 4. We solved it. So suppose the question was not given in a pretty boxed up way as it is, and it was given in a way what I'm going to write over here. So let me just reframe the question. This is a minus b the whole square. So on expanding, what do we get? A square minus 2ab plus b square. So which will be x square minus 2x plus 1 is equal to 4. Yes, this is a quadratic equation. Let me make it look like a regular format of quadratic equation, which is all the numbers and expressions on one side and the other side is 0. So we have x square minus 2x minus 3 equal to 0. Now had they given this question and not that, what you would have done? You would have not gone on to do this step and then that step and then this step and this step. You would have rather thought of splitting the middle term, and luckily in this case we will be able to split the middle term. As I've told you before, if you are going to get rational numbers as your root, you'll always be able to split the middle term. So you can be sure, you can rest assured that here you'll be able to split the middle term. So I'll just quickly do it, because this is not what we are here for. Splitting the middle term we have already done before. So x square minus, now this minus 2 can be split as minus 3x plus 1x. Minus 3x plus 1x is minus 2x, and the multiplication of minus 3 and plus 1, minus 3 into plus 1 is a minus 3. So my split is going to work all right. Taking x common, this step gives you this step. I'm starting from here, suppose. So suppose this was my question, and I'm starting from here. So the next step is, this step implies x common, x minus 3 plus 1 common, x minus 3. So you have x minus 3 and x minus 3 over here. So we'll take x minus 3 common, and for the first one we'll get x, and for the other one we'll get a plus 1 is equal to 0. So we have successfully made this expression as a product of two factors. So the factors are x minus 3 and x plus 1. Now a certain thing into a certain thing multiplied with a certain thing is 0 only when one of them is 0. Either this is 0 or that is 0. So when x minus 3 is 0, what we get is x equal to 3. And when x plus 1 is equal to 0, if x plus 1 was equal to 0, we'll get x as minus 1. So we are going to get the two answers. So the point over here is, if you get a quadratic equation, you have two routes of doing it. Either do this way, that is finding out the factor. If you are not able to find out the factor, which is a big chance of not able to find out the factor, because a big chance that the factors are not rational, in that case the other way is work it back and make it look like a whole square. So that is what we are going to do today, to make it look like a whole square. Now before I rub it off, let me give you a question which is implying the same thing, and I want you to discover what is happening when you're trying to find out the two factors. So let me just show you what I mean, that you'll have only one way of doing it in most of the questions and you won't be able to factorize, by taking a similar example like this, but where this thing is not a whole square. So let me just take it, say x minus 2 whole square was a 7. Now 7 is not a perfect square. how do we solve it? How do we solve it? So if I look at the solution, how we did this, we are going to do a similar thing over here. And what we'll get is x minus 2 is equal to plus minus root 7. And my answer would be, I'll take the 2 on the other side with a plus root 7 and a minus root 7. So I'm not going to write it separately. I'm just going to write it in one. So I'll get x is equal to, this 2 goes on the other side. The minus 2 goes on the other side, becomes plus 2 plus root 7 is one of my answer and minus root 7 is the other answer. So I've got two answers and these are the two answers. So I'll rather write it separately for now. X is equal to 2 plus root 7 is one of my answer and x is equal to 2 minus root 7 when I've taken the minus 1 and not the plus 1 as the solution. So x minus 2 is equal to minus root 7 will lead me to this answer, and x minus 2 is equal to plus root 7 will lead me to this answer. So these are the two solutions to the quadratic equation. These are the two roots of this quadratic equation. Now the same quadratic equation could have been presented like this. X minus 2 whole square is x square minus 4x plus 4 is equal to 7, which means x square minus 4x in the standard quadratic equation manner, if I write, minus 3 is equal to 0. Now if this quadratic equation is given to you and I ask you to do it by factorization by splitting the middle term, then you'll keep on thinking of what might the split be, but you won't be able to get it. You won't be able to get it because the actual answer is an irrational number. So you won't be able to imagine that the split and the factor would be this, by the way. Now this part what I'm going to write, you don't have to care about it. X minus so if you factorize this, you are going to land up in this, but this, figuring out that this is going to happen is quite difficult or very tedious. You rather convert this question, that's the question, you rather convert it to this form somehow. If you convert it back to this form, mind you, this question and that question is same. This quadratic equation and that quadratic equation is ditto same. But if you are able to write this quadratic equation in this form, then the answer is within 2-3 lines. So if you are able to do that, that is what is the general solution of a quadratic equation. Any quadratic equation can be written as x plus minus something the whole square is equal to something. So that is what we are going to practice now. That is what we are going to do now, and it is called completing the square. So out of this, we are going to complete the square. So I'm not going to use this example. I'm going to use the question which was given in the graph. Then we'll go on to do the same process with a general quadratic equation, which is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, and get the general formula in terms of that a, b, c. So if any equation comes, your a, like in this question, a is 1, b is minus 4 and c is minus 3, you can plug in those values and you'll get the answer. So that becomes a kind of formula for you. So before all that, let us just solve the question which was there in the graphs, which was, now to solve the quadratic equation by completing the square, we should know the whole square formula, that is the a plus b whole square formula or a minus b whole square formula. So I hope everybody knows it. It is an a square plus 2ab plus b square. So now what we have to do is we have to compare the a plus b whole square, which is a square plus 2ab plus b square, with the quadratic equation given. So the first term, if you can see, is your a square here and x square there, which is very much alike. Meaning to say, if it was x plus b the whole square, I'll just write it as x plus b the whole square. This would have been x square plus 2xb plus b square. Now let me compare this one with the question in hand. So this is your formula and that's the question in hand. So x square and x square is what you see. The next term is 2x and something, and this one is a 4x. It can be very well made into a 2x and something, 2x into something. So if that is happening, if I write it as 2x into something, I'll get my b, which is quite important. I'll get my b, and then I need to have a b square over here. Will this be equal to b square? If it is, then it is already a whole square and I don't have to do much, but maybe it is not. Let's just see. X square is already there. Then to fit in the formula, I'll just blindly write x square plus 2x because that's the formula. The 2x comes into something. Here is where I take a pause and check out what it should be so that I don't mess up the question. I don't change the question. Till now I have not changed the question. X square is x square. 4x, instead of 4x I write 2x into something. What will that be? That will be a 2x into 2. So for a 2 I'm just putting a dot. So 2x into 2 is 4x. So I have not done anything which is not equal to the previous question at all. So I figured out my b. That's my b. That's my b. That b is a 2 in this question. So the good news that I figured out my b, but the bad news is I don't have a b square over here. I don't have a 2 square over here. Had I be having a 2 square, then this question would have been already in a whole square form, but it is not. Instead of a 2 square, it's a 2. So what do? There are various ways of doing it, but I'll suggest this, that you put what you want. You got your b, that's your b. You put your b square. You put your b square so that this becomes the formula of x square plus 2xb plus b square. You plant your b square, but then we can't change the question. We have planted a 2 square. We'll remove that 2 square. 2 square is equal to 4. So I planted a 4. I'll remove a 4. Now I could have written as a minus and a 2 square over here, but sometimes I see that the students make a mistake of considering the minus inside the square and just making it a plus, doing something which is quite weird, but still. So just to be on the safer side, what I'm doing is I'm subtracting the value of what I added. I added a 4, I'm subtracting a 4. So basically, if you can watch this section alone, I have done nothing. I have in fact totally I've added 0, nothing. So let me again match with the top. Your x square was your x square, your 4x is your 2x into 2, and this effectively is 0, nothing. So I can't change my question. I had something over there. I had a 2, so I'll just put that 2. So what do I get? What do I have? A plus 2 and then equal to 0. So equal to 0. Now look at it carefully. Have I changed the question? Have I changed the question? No, I haven't changed the question. The question is same. This and this is mathematically identical. This is x square, that is x square, that's 4x, this is effectively 4x, and these three numbers together is effectively only 2. That's your 2. This 2. This effectively is 2. Why it is 2? Because this much part is 0. This much part is 0, and that remains as 2. So why did we do that? We did this because these initial three terms together is the formula of x square plus 2xb plus b square, which is a x plus b whole square. The initial three terms, these three terms is a whole square, and the rest are just numbers. So what I can write is the three initial terms is x plus, what's my b? B is 2, x plus 2 the whole square. That's my three terms. And what is remaining is a minus 4 plus 2. That is your minus 4 plus 2 equal to 0. Now this is the format I wanted. This is almost the format what was required, what was there while we were solving the simpler ones, which was not in this format but a whole square format. So keeping the whole square on one side and taking the numbers on the other side, what we have is x plus 2 whole square. A minus 4 plus 2 is a minus 2. Taken on the other side, it becomes a plus 2. Or if I take the 4 on the other side, it's a plus 4, and I take the 2 on the other side, it's minus 2. So 4 minus 2 is 2. So what we have is a 2. X plus 2 whole square is a 2. This is not a perfect square, but don't have to worry about it. So we are not dealing with rational numbers alone. We can go for irrational numbers. So the subsequent steps of solving are quite easy. What is that? X plus 2 something square. Like I said earlier, t square is equal to 2. So that t will be how much? T will be under root of 2. But the plus or the minus, it would be both. So x plus 2 would be plus minus root 2. Root 2 is roughly 1.4. So don't have to write that. It is root 2. Root 2 is root 2. You leave it over there. So x plus 2 is equal to so much. We are almost at the solution. So from here, we can say that we have got two solutions. One is x plus 2 is equal to plus root 2. And the other one is x plus 2. This is your x plus 2 is equal to minus root 2. Both are valid solutions, because if x plus 2 is plus root 2, plus root 2 square over here is a 2, which satisfies this. 2 minus 4 plus 2 is equal to 0, or over here it satisfies. X plus 2 is a minus root 2, minus root 2 whole square is again a 2. So both of them are going to satisfy. So finally my answer is x is equal to 2 taken on the other side minus 2 plus root 2, and from here it is x equal to minus 2 minus root 2. So if you can go back to the graph also, this is going to ratify the graph also. Here x is minus 2 plus something and a minus 2 minus something. If you remember, if you can recall, then the graph had dropped down from 2 and it was something like this. It was something like this. So what I'm saying is that was the minus 2, that's your 0. This is your plus 1 plus 2. Now where it is cutting the x-axis, that x-intercept of the quadratic polynomial. So I don't have a polynomial written over here. Had this been equal to y, then that is the polynomial. So this polynomial is y equal to x square plus 4x plus 2. That's your polynomial, this one. By the way, it is going to cut at 2 also, 2 over here. Because when you put x is equal to 0, you'll get your y is equal to 2. You can put any x and you'll get a y, and that's the plot. That's the plot. So what x is making the y as 0 is this x, this and this x. So can you see the symmetry? From minus 2, you go a minus root 2. So from minus 2, you go a minus root 2 and you end up at minus 2 minus root 2. Minus root 2 is roughly 1.4, so it will end up at minus 3.4 roughly. And from minus 2, you go a plus root 2, plus root 2. And you end up over here, and which is a minus 2 plus root 2. Root 2 is again 1.4, so minus 2 plus root 2 is a 0.6. So you are going to end up on the left side of your origin. So the important point over here is that the two roots, the two x-intercepts, are symmetrically from minus 2. Mathematically also we are seeing the same thing what we are seeing in the graph. This length is root 2, left side of minus 2 and right side of minus 2. So I hope you have understood what has to be done. I'll just repeat the steps. You had this as the question. You have to blindly, without thinking anything, you have to blindly write it as x square plus 2x first. This part and this part has to be written blindly because it has to fit in the formula of x square plus 2x. It can be a minus 2xb plus b square also if you are going for a minus b the whole square, or x minus b the whole square. When you have a minus over here, it could be minus over there. But you have to have a x square and 2x, x square and 2x. So you'll write it no matter what it is, what this thing is. You don't even have to read this thing. You don't even have to read that 4, and you have to just write a 2x, and then you have to match it with a 4x. So to match this term with a 4x, you have to multiply with a 2. So once you multiply with a 2, you get your b. Now for the formula to be working, you need a b square. So once you get a b, you plant that b square. You plant that b square, and since you have planted it, you remove it. In the same breath, you remove it as you have planted it, because you can't change the question. You put a 4, you remove a 4. Now what was already there, you have to put it back so that the question remains same. So you put a 4, remove a 4, and put the number which is already there. So I hope you got the steps. Then the first 3 terms will be the a plus b or the a minus b whole square thing, and the remaining terms will be just numbers which you can add and subtract, and you put it on the other side of equal to. You'll have a whole square on one side and a number on the other side. You can square root both sides. Don't forget that square root of any number would be the plus and minus of that number. So you don't have to write just the positive square root, you have to write the negative square root also of the number. So by the way, when I was telling you about Brahmagupta, he did not write the negative square root, he just wrote the positive square root. But that is like 600 AD. You can just imagine that they were discarding numbers which were not in use, which were not being used. So if that minus square root was giving a negative number which was not representing any physical quantity, so it was just being discarded. So now once you got this is a linear equation in one variable, so nothing over here. This is a number, that's a number, it's an irrational number. A bit uncomfortable you might be with the number, but it's still a number, it's still a real number. This is a real number, that's a real number. Put the numbers on one side, put the x on the other side, and that's your solution. I'll give you a very similar question and then I'll rub off the board. So I hope you can do it. Try this. And try this. Mind you, if you're getting fractions, if you're getting b as fractions while you're doing one of these, I'll tell you this one. When you're doing this one, you get b as fraction. Don't worry, just do the same steps. Don't fear the fractions, don't fear the irrational numbers. Just do the mathematical process, mathematical steps, and you're going to get the answer. So best of luck. So I hope you got them. I'll just quickly do it for you to verify your steps. Let's just follow the same steps what we were doing earlier. The question is x square minus 6x plus 4 equal to 0. We have to fit in the formula of x square minus 2xb plus b square over here. So minus 2x you will write blindly so that the formula comes into the picture. Then you will check what this was. It was a 6. So you'll say that your b is a 3, so that this 2 into x into 3 is same as your 6x. And since your b is 3, you require a 3 square, which is a 9. You require that 3 square, but then you have planted a 9, you remove the 9. You planted the 9, you remove the 9, and what was there, you put it back. I hope you got this line right. If you get this line right, you're going to get the answer right. I'll just confirm again that this line, this equation is same as this equation. This implies this. X square is x square, minus 6x is minus 2 into x into 3, plus 4 is plus 4, and this much part is nothing. Now if I take the first three terms, then what is it? X minus 3 the whole square is the first three term, and the remaining minus 9 plus 4, how much is that? Minus 9 plus 4. Minus 9 plus 4 is a minus 5. Minus 5 is equal to 0. So what do we get next? We get x minus 3 whole square is equal to 5. 5 is not a perfect square, but doesn't matter. If it was a perfect square, we could have split the middle term and done this instead of doing this. So it gives you x minus 3 is equal to plus minus root 5, and hence your answer, in fact answers or solutions are x is equal to 3 plus root 5 and a minus root 5. So I'm not writing in two different lines, I'm just writing it together. So that's your final answer. I hope you got that as the answer. If you want to cross check, you can put 3 plus 5 into this and check out, it should come to be 0. So that's the solution for the first one. What about the next one? Let us just try out the next one also. X square plus 3x plus 1 equal to 0. Now again, what I'll do is, to fit in the formula of a plus b the whole square, I'll blindly write x square plus 2 into x into something, and then I look up and I'll say, oh my god, 2 into x into a fraction can make it 3x. So this thing is a fraction, otherwise it won't be. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to write my 2x. 2x is in the formula of a plus b the whole square. So 2 into x into 3 by 2 makes this term same as 3x. 2 into x into 3 by 2. Why to do so much? Because I want a 2, I want a x, and I want the remaining thing, which becomes my b. A 2 and a x, and the remaining thing is my b. So I got my b. I want my b square over here. How much is b square? That's 3 by 2 whole square. That's your b square. Now you have planted your b square. You're not even looking at this one over here. You have planted your b square because you want the a plus b whole square formula to be going over here. But then if you have planted something, you can't change the question, you remove that. So while removing, you can write a 3 by 2 whole square. I'm just writing it as 9 by 4. And this part is effectively 0. So I'll come back to what was there. 1 was there. I'll add that 1 and make my second line same as my first line. I hope you know what to do next. You have to pick the first 3 terms and write it as x plus whatever, which is a 3 by 2 in this case, whole square, x plus 3 by 2 whole square, and a minus 9 by 4 plus 1. So minus 9 by 4 plus 4 by 4 is a minus 5 by 4 equal to 0. So taking the number on the other side, what does it give? Again, you're getting a fraction over here. Don't have to worry about it. You got a fraction here, you got a fraction here. It's all okay. So the next line would be x plus 3 by 2 whole square. This thing goes on the other side of equal to, becomes 5 by 4. From here it implies that x plus 3 by 2 itself was, you are doing a square root on both sides, was 5 doesn't have a rational square root, so you'll write root 5 divided by root 4, which is a 2, and do not forget a plus as well as minus. So x plus 3 by 2 is equal to a plus minus root 5 by 2, which tells you that the answer would be x is equal to minus 3 by 2. This 3 by 2 goes on the other side, becomes minus 3 by 2 plus minus root 5 by 2. You can write the 2 under a big divided by as a single 2 over here. So that's your answer anyways. There are two answers over here, minus 3 by 2 plus root 5 by 2 and minus 3 by 2 minus root 5 by 2. I hope you are able to picturize this with a graph. I'm not doing that because I don't want to get into that, but I would love you guys to make the graph and see where this minus 3 by 2 lies and what are the two numbers, what is the x-intercept, and how the graph looks like. Let me give you another one and I'll not solve it. You solve it yourself. Yeah, so do this and maybe one more. Do this. X square plus 9 equal to 0. Yeah, so you can pause the video and do both of them. Both of them are quadratic equation. You can see that this part is a polynomial with the highest degree of 2 equated to 0, which makes it a quadratic equation. Do these two questions quickly while I clear up the board. I'll rather give a hint how to do this one. So instead of a plain x square, you have a 2x square over here. Now, I hope you have got comfortable in doing these kind of questions. So make yourself comfortable in this also by converting this to that. Meaning to say, take 2 common all over, and put the 2 on the other side. 2 goes down, 0 by 2 remains 0 itself. So this quadratic equation is as good as x square plus 2x plus 1 by 2 equal to 0. And don't worry about the fractions, because as such you're landing up with fractions in these cases. So don't worry about the fractions. And then I'll just flash the answer for this on the board. I'm not going to solve it because these are similar ones, and I'll discuss this. I hope your answer matches with what we displayed. And for this one, x square is equal to minus 9. Square of something is a minus 9 is impossible. Square of any real number cannot be a negative number. Your negative squares as well as positive squares are positive, so there is no solution to this. There is no real solution to this. In higher standards, we'll see some imaginary solutions, of which we are not talking about right now. So there is no real solution. This is having no solution. So I hope you did not write x is equal to minus 3 as one of the solution. I hope not. Now this kind of scenario can happen when you are solving these kind of questions also. Like say instead of x square minus 6x plus 4, it was a plus 10. Suppose the question was x square minus 6x. I'm just copying the same question, but instead of 4, it is plus 10 equal to 0. Then you'll be doing the same stuff. And what will you get? You'll get x square minus 2 into x into 3 plus 9 minus 9. And instead of 4, you'll write a 10. Instead of 4, it will be 10 minus 9 plus 10. So what will you get? I'll straight away write this line. Minus 9 plus 4 gave you minus 5. Minus 9 plus 10 will give you a plus 1. So this would be x minus 3 whole square plus 1 equal to 0. If you are doing these two steps, I'm just writing beside, instead of 4, I'll just put a 10 over here. So that's a 10. So this becomes a 10. If that's a 10, then minus 9 plus 10 becomes a plus 1. So you can just come over here and watch. So plus 1 is equal to 0, which means x minus 3 whole square is equal to minus 1. Something square a minus 1, not possible. So we'll just stop over here and say no real root. There's no real root to this equation. So it is similar to this situation. Don't say that under root of this will be minus 1, not at all. Had it been plus 1, then the under root would have been a plus 1 as well as a minus 1. Minus 1 doesn't have a real under root. These are the scenarios when you'll not have a solution. So you can end up with no solution also if this is happening. And can you imagine graphically why you ended up like this? Because you had a big number added to the quadratic equation, and that number added is lifting the parabola up. It is lifting it above the x-axis, and the parabola is not cutting the x-axis. That means there is no value of x where the parabola cuts the x-axis. Where it cuts is the root, is the solution, is the 0 for the polynomial, so which is not happening. So I've added a big number over here and it's not happening. The root is not happening. I hope it is clear to you. Now instead of using numbers 2, 4 and 3, let us use A, B and C and do the ditto same process, the same steps what we have been doing over here, and get the answer in terms of A, B and C. And that answer in terms of A, B and C would be the formula for solving your quadratic equations.